Bikes, we go to Supercars, the G&H Transport Extreme Supercars up next. And here is a massive field of cars and potentially going to be the fastest around the track the entire weekend. Even though we've got the V8s here and GDC, these cars will possibly set what will be the first lap record here, probably outright as well. Toby Venter in the house with Charles Arungi's, fighting with local guys as well, with Craig Jarvis coming from Cape Town. And of course, keep an eye on that man there, Johan Engelbrecht, also from Cape Town, looking to take on all our local boys. There is the way they're going to start. It's Toby Venter alongside Charles Arungi's. Behind them, it's Engelbrecht and De Toy. Then two hard-charging BMWs there, Adrian Dalton, Sab Guterri, and of course Jason Campos. The lights are out and we're racing down towards turn one. Who's going to get the whole shot? Look at Engelbrecht, the Jogo Jogo Cafe Porsche going around the outside, possibly going to spoil the day. He wants to be the fastest Porsche around the circuit. He wants to be the fastest Porsche in South Africa, and he's just whole-shot and beaten Toby Venter down to turn one at his own circuit.
Well, if anyone's going to know this circuit, it is Toby Venter in second place, so watch out for the man himself in his Porsche to come through. And look at the V8. Oh, look, you can't get so many supercars through turn one, and you can see having to take evasive action there, but this is really where they can open up now. Coming onto the back straight and through Sunset and Clubhouse is really where you can use all the horsepower of these big cars.
On board with Darby Olivier, he comes alongside and tries to sneak past De Toy on the outside of Sunset corner. Sure, that's going to be huge, but there is enough room out there to play now. The Barons Motorspace cars go through the Winterboer. Look at Jarvis side by side with the Lamborghini. Lamborghini trying to squeeze through as they get into Sunset and down into Clubhouse. He eventually makes a stick into Clubhouse corner, but Toby still hasn't got past. Johan Engelbrecht is managing to maintain the lead here and keep Toby Venter at bay.
Yeah, Greg, you said it perfectly. This track is almost purpose-built for these big cars. So much room for them to play. Here goes Toby Venter, getting a slightly tighter line. He's going to try and have to go around the outside. I don't think he's going to make that move stick there, but he's going to try and square it up now and get the drive going down the hill. Can he do it on the inside, going into the mine shaft? Here he goes. He squares it up. Oh, you don't want to bash two Porsches going down the hill, that's for sure.
Particularly those two. Those are probably two of the most expensive Porsches in the country. There is nearly 100 million rands with the motor cars on track right now, Rob, as we onboard here with the Toy, as they squeeze down into the bowl for the first time and into Crocodiles. Johan Engelbrecht has lost out. Unfortunately, Toby Venter found a way through, and it looks like the Lamborghini is going to find a way around the outside. Yes, he is. Wow! Charles Arungi's is on fire here.
Charles Arungi's is coming in that Lambo. He's seeing that Toby Venter in his Porsche is trying to pull a gap on the rest of the field, and he knows he's got to get past and straight onto the tailpipes of that Porsche. Great move on the inside there. That looks like Craig Jarvis, so watch out for the Ferrari man. He's also making a huge charge now, but he's got a couple of very fast BMs and other Ferraris right on his tail. I mean, the cars in action here today is incredible, Greg.
Yeah, it's great to see this massive field of cars. Oh, here comes Engelbrecht trying to come back at Charles Arungi's down into Crowthorne. Arungi's will be late on the brakes. He just squeezes the Jogo Jogo Porsche out. It's so tight between the two of them. They had some epic battles. It's great to see Toby involved in this battle now. But further back there, that is a brand new machine to this racing. Great to see it, but a little bit sideways in the Coca-Cola Porsche there. And you can see just how hard he's having to work. Thomas Reeb going at it there, side by side, as they come through there with Tuka Mechanicos and the Mercedes-Benz. Behind them, it's Sun Moodley. Then you've got Jimbo Gianacaro. Fanamava, De Kock, then you've got Galloway. Look at the rest of the field streaming through here. Look at the different variations of cars as well as they come onto the back straight. Looks like there's an issue there on that 350Z. One of the Hendok cars having an issue onto that back straightaway now. Adrian Dalton fighting with Darby Olivier. Then you've got Winterboer, Van der Westhuizen, Ricky Gianacaro, first of the KTM Crossbows, Greg Barton. How's this field of cars? A brand new Lamborghini as well. Rex Different Gearbox having a little bit of a chance to show their livery. And I can tell you something, Sam Hammond is not going slowly in that Lamborghini.
On board here with Willem van der Westhuizen, we go down the mine shaft flat out in these big supercars, and then you really do have to climb on those brakes extra especially hard to make it for this turn. Sharp right hand, you can see how much it just tightens up on you, and then it's flat out. Cheat a turn in one of these big cars must be really hard to maneuver using all that horsepower, trying to keep the traction down on the ground.
Jonathan Shankman, unfortunately, with some issues. Speaking of issues, that's Sav Guterri pulling into pit lane, the MBS and Sav Speed BMW pulling into pit lane as Toby Venter comes through, and this is probably going to be starting his final lap. He's opened up a decent margin now over Charles Arungi's. He hasn't had an answer, but Arungi's had to fight a little bit with the Jogo Jogo Porsche of Johan Engelbrecht, so it's been like an even Steven match at the front end. They're now spread out ever so slightly after the completion of these final couple of laps, but that's how I think it's going to finish up. These guys are not done yet. Dalton fighting with Winterboer, Van der Westhuizen, Gianacaro, Parton, and then the two Lamborghinis of Hammond and pushing hard there in the background, Shankman.
Now this is the battle now on track for that final top 10 position, so everyone wants to get into that top 10, and those BMWs doing everything they can to hold off the likes of the Ferraris, the Porsches and the Lamborghinis, and you wouldn't think the BMs could actually do that, if you think. And look at that, even a KTM crossbow thrown into the mix there. So really a great array of cars on display here. Well worth the entry fee here at the Kyalami Festival of Motorsport. Really has been a tremendous day, both on 4 wheels and 2 wheels, although the 4-wheeled cars have spent most of the day on 2 wheels as well.
Son Moodley having a good run just behind Dwayne Galloway, the two Natal boys having some fun and games. And pushing in the background there, just behind Son Moodley, I think was Oliver Delay. But great stuff at the front end. This battle continues as Van der Westhuizen tries to squeeze through here on Darren Winterburg. We go on board with Winterburg as he heads into Cheetah Corner. Runs a bit wide,
Final
keeps
turn.
it smooth, coming into Ingwe now. Heads up for
On
a
the
possible...
inside.
No, looking at that rearview mirror, I don't see the Ferrari. He's just too far behind. Look on the inside rearview mirror there. You can just see Van der Westhuizen.
Drag.
And here we go, across the line. Let's see if he's able to pull out here. We go back on board now with a man behind Winterburg. This is Van der Westhuizen's point of view, heading down to Crowthorne. They're going to go side by side to Crowthorne. Oh, this is going to be awesome.
On the brakes, the Ferrari. Who's got the better brakes? Those big, massive Brembo brake calipers and discs on that car. Oh, both of them don't make the turn. Look at that. But that's the beauty about the track. You've got that extra tar, so if you do run wide, you're not into the kitty litter. You can still bring it back on track.
Ricky Jonakara squeezing through as the two of them ran wide there. Van der Westhuizen lives to fight another day, but unfortunately the biggest loser there was the Barron's Motor Spares car of Winterburg. But further back here, that's Oliver Delay in the Marlboro Crane Hire Porsche being closed down by the leader. And there's only a couple of corners to go. We're on the last lap. Look how tight it's got between Aranjis and Toby. Toby's eased off a little bit too much, and Aranjis is still in for the fight. Oh, looks like that Porsche might get in the way of Mr. Porsche South Africa.
Here we
Willie.
go.
Coming down to the final turn.
Charles Oranges, Greg, he's right there. But Toby Fenter, he's got all the experience in the world. He goes all kinds of defensive, and he knows he's got the horsepower in that Porsche to hold off the Lamborghini behind him. So it will be Toby Fenter picking up the win. But what a drive from Charles Oranges.
Second place to Aranjis in the Pirelli machine. Great effort there from him. And then it was Johan Engelbrecht in the Jogga Jogga Porsche for third. Craig Jarvis from Cape Town in fourth, beating out Jonathan du Toit, Davy Olivier, Willem van der Westhuizen and Sam Hammond. We caught up with Sam to find out what went wrong.
Great race, they had a great start. Everything was going well. I battled the whole morning this morning with tyre issues and odds and ends. In the end we had a boost problem as well, but I managed to keep the car going. And I think we got up to fourth position or so. I think we did a 50.5, so I was quite happy with that.
Son Moodley, second interview there. Great drive from him.
Very good. We still have to get used to the braking points. We didn't have enough time to familiarize ourselves with the braking and the gearing. Otherwise, we know that we got an idea of the track. Yeah, so I'm sure we will get better as we go along.
Number one man, Toby Fenter, and Mr. Kyalami and Porsche South Africa.
The new Kyalami racetrack has got something for everybody, great for spectators. Charles Oranges with the Lambo was a close caller there at the end. The start, Johan Engelbrecht got ahead, and then I passed him up at Leeuwkop. And slowly but surely we were going through the back markers, and he was making inroads on me. But in the end I just held on for a nail-biting finish. So we look forward to tomorrow, see if we can do it again.
Sunday dawns and it's race 2 action about to start here. The festival happened over 3 days of racing, Rob, the Motorsport Festival at Kyalami, to officially open the racing side of the Kyalami Grand Prix circuit. And you can see Johan Engelbrecht has spoken to the boys from GT Club Sport and hoping to get that car just a little bit extra power so you can take on both Aranjis in the Lamborghini, but more importantly, Toby Fenter in that very quick Porsche.
Yeah, this was the place to be. Kyalami back open, and it was great to see all the fans up on the embankments bringing out the braais. Really is a family festival, and it was great to see and have Kyalami buzzing once again. But it's that man Toby Fenter out front. Remember, a rolling start for these big cars. So Charles Oranges, he'll want to get right onto the tailpipes of Toby as early as possible, because we saw in race number 1 he had the pace towards the end of the race to take the win.
Hard on the brakes into Crowthorne corner. Here comes the Toy. He's going to try and go around the outside of Sam Hammond. Hammond got a great start. Oh, the Toy's out of shape. The Toy's completely out of shape and takes out Jonakaro. Jonakaro had nowhere to go there. Jonathan du Toit spinning out through Crowthorne corner. Red flag, and means we're going to have to restart this race. So unfortunately in the first one, as we see from Darren Winterburg's point of view, that's what happened. Ferrari and BMW coming together, and that's the second BMW out of the G&H Transport stable that's been taken out at Crowthorne. A big incident yesterday with Gianni Jonakaro, who unfortunately crashed out in the qualifying session. He's destroyed that car. It looks like pretty much the same thing here for Ricky Jonakaro's G&H Transport BMW, and the back end of the Trans-Africa Racing Ferrari as well.
Oh man, that is going to be one expensive bull. I wouldn't mind being the panel beater who gets that job.
As you can see, we go on board here with Willem van der Westhuizen. Watch out for the
Just
spinning
sideways.
Ferrari. Just nowhere to go. Willem has to avoid the slowing BMW of Dalton. Well done to him. But a full restart now means we're going to go at it again. Side by side, Porsche and Lambo, Porsche and Ferrari, Lamborghini and BMW just behind them. And here we go as the lights go out. Toby Venter looking to get the drop on Johan Engelbrecht this time. This time Engelbrecht takes the same line as he did yesterday. And it looks like he's going to get the whole shot down into turn one. Willem van der Westhuizen looking back, trying to fend off Schenkman as he comes through. And of course, Darren Winterboer in the Barons Motorsports BMW. But as they get into turn one, Crowthorne, it is the whole shot again. That's 2 out of 2 for the Jogga Jogga Cafe Porsche.
Yeah, that Porsche of Engelbrecht's is really, really fast. He just picks his own line and just slipstreams his way past Toby Venter there. But coming onto the back straight, can Toby Venter get the drive? He's pulled up next to him, but I don't think he's going to have enough to make an attack going into Sunset. We've got to watch out for Charles Arangis. He wants to try and get ahead as soon as possible to chase down the 2 Porsches out front because he knows he's got that extra pace, but he doesn't have the same horsepower down the straight, so he really has to do all the work in the turns.
That was a bit cheeky from Charles Arangis, eh? Flashing the lights at
Flashing
Jarvis.
lights.
Tell him to I want to come fast. Jarvis moves out the way, lets him through. I think Craig realises he's probably not going to be able to run with his stablemate there. But needless to say, it's only the first lap. You can't flash the lights in the first lap. Give Craig a chance. Oh, no chance given to Jan Engelbrecht as Toby Venter takes the lead into the S's and now leads up towards Leo Cook corner. It's Porsche 1 and 2, Lamborghini 3, and then the Ferrari of Craig Jarvis there doing a great job in 4th place. But then the BMW and Lamborghini battle continues like it did yesterday.
Now, Charles Arangis makes up so much time on the brakes and mid-turn speed. You can see the Porsches, once they get up and going, they really do pull away. Darren Winterboer here in his BMW coming down the hill now. He'll have that pedal to the metal, flat out stuff here as he goes through the mine shaft, and it's hard on the brakes. But Toby Venter, here we go. Arangis on the inside of Engelbrecht going into, oh, that's so tight. Engelbrecht doing everything he could there just to chop the nose off of Arangis. So Charles, he's going to have to try and do it on the brakes now going into the final turn. Will he be able to do it going into Ingwe? You'll see he'll just pull on the inside. Now Engelbrecht holds that tight line, so good driving this from Engelbrecht. But all the meanwhile, Toby Venter is pulling out a lead.
Yeah, he's getting away from this battle as they start to slow each other down by fighting each other off. And I don't know if Engelbrecht is going to have what it takes to keep that Lambo out for much longer. He is driving extremely well, and you can see the squirt on the long straights. The Porsche's definitely got the opportunity to hang in there. But of course, Charles Arangis, when he gets into the tight and twisty bits, has got so much better handling, and those cars are working double time to try and get up there with those 2 Porsches. Great start as well from Jarvis. He hangs on. We pull back in the onboard here. Oh, what a move from Arangis! Opened up the door, and thanks very much. I'll just squeeze through there and gets up into 2nd place. So Engelbrecht, unfortunately, just taking a slightly different line as they went into barbecue. He tries to come back at him into Sunset Corner. Oh, can you imagine we'd seen a Porsche and Lamborghini side by side through Sunset? That would be the first time we've seen that happen. With the additional bit of track on the outside, there is an opportunity to do that. But I think Engelbrecht might have said, you know what, discretion is the better part of valor.
Definitely. And Charles Arangis in that beautifully prepared Pirelli Lamborghini. Remember, he's got 4-wheel drive in that car, so that's why he's got so much grip, especially in the turns. But driving it like a go-kart pretty much. That's the battle there between Sam Hammond, Willem van der Westhuizen, Adrian Dalton, Darren Winterboer, Greg Parton, Dion Duplessis running out the top 10 at the moment. But Nicky Dix further down in 12th. Normally see him a little bit higher, as we do Sun Moodley. So those guys will be wanting to get their way through the field and potentially pick up a top 10.
Darby Olivier looks like he's dropping back away from Hammond, yeah, having a little issue in the 3rd of those G&H Transport BMWs. It's been an absolute nightmare of a weekend for G&H, and there he is. You can see it. Definitely an issue here for Darby. He's slowing up dramatically, being caught hand and fist by the Extra Shoes BMW and by Schenkman. There comes Winterboer. Behind them is Van der Westhuizen, Willem van der Westhuizen in the Beyers Kloof and Kanonkop Wines-sponsored Ferrari, doing a great job down there and possibly going to look to get up into the top 5 if the cars start to have the rate of attrition that we're starting to see here. But further back, this is Kurt Bakewell in the 4th of those G&H Transport BMWs and fighting hard with Mark Tatoy in the 360 option of the Ferraris. And then a bit further back, you can see right through this field some great drivers. I think Paul Vessel's in this machine this week, this weekend. Him and his brother normally share that car, so one of them would have raced Saturday, one would have raced Sunday. And Tanya Detoy, one of our fastest lady drivers, just on their tail there in the Supergirl Porsche, doing a great job. In fact, she's actually just got ahead there of Vessels. Then it's Avakamides just behind there in the Carrera. So, there we go.
Olivier.
Terminal problems and Olivier out of it. I kind of picked it up earlier on. They looked like there might have been an issue on that little BMW and the baby beam is out.
So much disappointment there for Darby Olivier. Really was starting to mount a challenge. Speaking of mounting a challenge, look at that. Toby Venter makes a mistake there in the S's, and that's allowed Charles Arangis through, going up to the top of the hill at Leeuwkop. So Arangis now at the front of the field. So now let's see what Toby Venter's got. Is he maybe running out of a little bit of tyre, or is there a problem with that car? Because definitely a big mistake there that's allowed the Lamborghini now to lead this field.
He might have just caught out watching Charles Arangis on the attack there and just made a mistake into there. There you can see Nicky Dix fighting hard with Moodley. A little bit further back, Detroit continues his battle with Jimbo Jonakara, who's now joined that, and Oliver DeLay. Charles Orangi's coming across the line. Checkered flag is out. He's managed to keep up Toby. Toby Venter has set the outright lap record, though, and it's all about Orangi's beating him to the line, though. Venter in second, Engelbrecht in third. The two Porsche boys have got some work to do to catch that Lambo. Jarvis in fourth in the Ferrari. And we'll pick up from Ricky Jonakara's point of view what went wrong in Crowthorne.
I saw John at the toy spin it, and I was just a passenger. He came through and hit me on the right-hand side, caused some severe damage on the car, but it's racing. It's racing. What can we do? Caused me to DNF for the day, but the team went out, carried on. They flew the flag high, and we'll be back with a bang next year. I mean, it's a racing incident, and yeah, we'll be back.
Captain America Jonakara. Let's catch up with Jan Engelbrecht.
Again, like in the first race, I had a blistering start when we started the second time. Ended up in the first corner first. But this track is tricky. It's all about local knowledge and it's all about knowing the track. So for my first time out in between some seriously fast cars, I'm very happy.
We caught up with our race winner, Charles Orangis, after a magnificent effort.
You know, to cap off a great year like this, it's just awesome, and none of that would be possible without a great workshop, which is my workshop, Stradale Motorsport, my team Joost and my dad, and then obviously the sponsors, Pirelli, and my new sponsor, Motul, and then a new potential sponsor, 7 Stars Energy, that has come on board, and you know, nothing would be possible without these guys, and the promotion of this race, it was just amazing.
Join us after the break for more action from the new Kyalami and Motorsport Festival.